POC Network here with another unboxing, this time coming from the company Comica. And we have a new wireless lav solution. And we've covered many of these in the past, everything from your top tier brands like Sennheiser, Shure, Audio-Technica, Sony, to some unique names that you might not have heard of before that are more affordable and do a pretty decent job, such as Saramonic and Comica. And what this is their WS60 wireless combo. And it's similar to a lot of these wireless lav solutions outside of the fact that this is actually designed for your smartphone more than anything else. So it is similar where you have a dual channel receiver and two transmitters, like most situations on a DSLR camera or similar setup. But instead, it comes with a tripod, and the receiver connects into the tripod, and behind it, it holds your smartphone with the top end sticking out a little bit so that the camera can see you. So you're using your camera on your phone as your, mock DSLR rig, or however you want to call it. So what we're going to do today is we're going to open this box, we're going to see what's inside of here, and then you'll go to the website later on at POCnetwork.net once we've been able to actually test this out, and we'll let you know what we think about it. It does come with this nifty little case here, a nice kind of a heavy-duty case. It kind of looks similar to a lunchbox. It just unzips from the top here, and you have your kit right there readily available, so you can start piecing everything together. So it's nice, it's mobile, very friendly. You have some instructional material here that's in this little mesh netted pocket space here. We have two pockets here, one a little larger, one smaller. And in this, it looks like you have your typical instructional and warranty material, which includes a small little simple card. It allows you to write your name, contact, phone number, address information, purchase date, and all that stuff for your own records. And then you have your nice user manual that looks to be in multiple languages. And that'll walk you through setting everything up. Now, if you've used wireless lav solutions before, you'll probably be able to walk yourself through this. So you have your receiver here that has the actual mount for the tripod built into it. So you have these, you just unscrew it here, these little feet or hands come out, and you're able to adjust the height just by unscrewing this, and the clamp comes out of the receiver, so that way you can adjust to the size of your smartphone. And then you just clamp down and you're now connected to your smartphone. The bottom side of it here has a threaded input here for the actual tripod that it does come with. And then you also have threads on the top of it as well, so you can actually go further with something else using that uses the same thread type, assuming that you have an adapter to go male to female or male to male or so forth. And it's really simple. It looks really nice. The arms slide in and out really easily, so you should be able to find that it'll work with just about any smartphone, at least any modern size smartphone, with the limitation of it won't support the older ones that are really super small. The battery compartment is right here in the back. You have 3 AAA batteries that fit right here. They're easy to get to, no weird little sliding trays that come in and out that sometimes catch when you try to put them back in. You have most of your functionality on the front of the unit here, where you have your power, your channel A and B selections for when you're messing with the settings. You can choose channel A and then adjust some of the settings. You have LEDs right here, so you can show when the RF for A and B are connected to the receiver. You have an actual display here for running through the menu options, and or at least you can see your settings and everything. You have your mono or stereo selection here, and if you've worked with wireless lavs like this before, you know what that is just splitting the A and B channel to the left and right, or combining them into a mono channel. Really, that's just for post edit later on, depending on how you want to really approach all of this. And then you have your a channel selection, or an option selection here for smartphone or camera. So you can choose what you're feeding with this. If you choose to actually use this on a DSLR, you can do that as well. It doesn't have to be a smartphone, of course. And then A/B selection here, in case you want to choose which one you're actually bringing in at the current moment. If you want to just say, hey, I only want to hear A, I only want to hear B, or both. And then on the side here, you have volume, so you can control the volume, the amplification of both A and B. Plus you have a USB input here, which is for, looks like, charging the unit with, so you can actually put chargeable batteries or rechargeable batteries inside of here, and this will charge them. You have an output which goes to the smartphone or camera, and then you have your headphone output, which is for monitoring what you're listening to live at the camera or smartphone position. Now the actual packs here are really simple. They're really lightweight as well, and they have a similar compartment on the back for the AAA batteries. You have your little holes here on both sides of the transmitter, which is for the clip that it comes with. Just like any other lav pack, it's going to clip to your belt. And on the side here, we have an input. So this is where your microphone is going to go into, or a lav mic. And then you have also, once again, USB Type-C input here for charging it, so if you have rechargeable batteries in here. And then you have your controls for the menu and everything right here on the front. So you have your channel selection, you have your power on and power off, as well as mute button here. You have A and B, so you can choose, is this going to be your A pack or your B pack? And then of course you have your low cut right here, so you can disable that or enable that in case you want to take advantage of the low cut, which usually you do want to do on a microphone situation. And both packs are exactly the same. You also have a threaded adapter that's built into it right here, so that way you can actually screw this onto, let it be a tripod, sitting next to the person for whatever reason, or maybe you just have another clip that, like maybe a push clip or something like that you like to use that has a tripod type adapter to it. The actual receiver also has the same thing on the back as well. So if you are using this with a DSLR, you can just screw on an adapter and then slide it into one of your cold shoes on your setup, your rig, if you're using an actual body that's going around the camera that has all additional attachment points. Underneath this piece of foam here, you have the rest of your accessories conveniently packed away in here. You have the tripod, which pops out just like that. And again, everything's built in, so you just screw the receiver onto it, and then your phone attaches to the back once the feet set up the feet to grab it. You can adjust it accordingly to however you need it to make sure the camera is facing your subject the way you want it to. You have your wireless lavs, which are pretty basic for a wireless lav. It's a 3.5 millimeter input into the transmitter. There's no screws for this, for locking it into place. And then you have your typical little clamp here for hooking it to your shirt, like you see with the one that I'm wearing now. It comes with two of those lavaliers, of course, since you have two transmitters. And you also, over here, have optional windscreens. So you can choose to use this in place of the foam that already comes on it. You just take that off and put this on in its place, and then this will help you in those outdoors, outdoor windier situations where you might be hearing a lot of noise, even with the foam windscreen on the lavalier microphone. And of course, you have the mentioned clips that go onto the back of the transmitters. And of course, they can be worn in either direction, so depending on how you want to wear the pack. And then those pop on just as easy as any other clip on the back of a transmitter. You also have some adapters here. So you have the 3.5 millimeter to 3.5 millimeter. This is with the 3 rings, so this is for your smartphone. So one end is going to go into the receiver, and this one over here is going to go into your smartphone. And you should be able to hopefully use that on a DSLR as well. If not, you might want to use just a regular TRS 3.5 millimeter adapter that will take this to your DSLR so that it works properly. And chances are, if you have a DSLR rig and you're just buying this as something on the side to use for other situations, you probably already have one of those cables anyways. You also have your USB to USB Type-C connector here, and this is for charging all 3 of them with, if you so choose to use rechargeable batteries in there. And then we have a little box here that has some adapters in there. So if you want to adapt the tripod further, this will actually go into the tripod. So it comes with all the parts to really get you going. You don't really need much unless for some reason this adapter doesn't work with whatever you're connecting it to. Then you can usually adapt it from there, from the TRRS to a TRS connector. So that way you can get rid of the 3 rings and hit the ground running. So there you are. Once again, this is the WS60 wireless combo from Comica, and this looks amazing. So of course, the question is, what does it sound like? That's a whole nother one. So let's go ahead and take a listen to it and see what it sounds like. So you are now listening to the WS60 microphone. I have it hooked to myself right here. Cable's a little messy right now since it's brand new and it was just, wadded up in the box this whole time. So it's going to take some time for it to regain or to really get a straight memory. So you might want to, stretch it out in a warm room or something, or out in the sun for, 10 minutes or so to let it straighten out. And then you can coil it up and store it properly so it, doesn't get all the kinks that you get from storing it like this. This is what it sounds like. Again, the WS60 wireless combo from Comica. And you have up to 12 channels to choose from, so it's not one of the more fancier ones where you have like 50, 100 channels or 1,000 channels to choose from or anything like that. It is quite simple. It's just 12 channels to choose from, so this is for smaller rigs. It's for situations where you're not in like large convention spaces or anything like that, you know. So if you're a novice shooter and you're just running around outside having fun, or indoors using your smartphone or DSLR, then you should be able to get away with this just fine. It's just stay away from any kind of like heavy traffic areas when it comes to RF signal. You know, so again, conventions and things like that where you might have RF all over the darn place that might step all over you. And we are using the cable it came with. The switch on it, on the receiver at least, where you're able to switch between DSLR or camera or smartphone, that is actually what controls how the cable is transmitting the audio. So it's functioning as both the TRS and RS connection, so that way you shouldn't need another adapter. So us switching it to DSLR, the camera took it just fine, and you're hearing it now. So once again, WS60 wireless combo solution from Comica. Go to POCnetwork.net, see what we have to say about this later on once we have the full review. And as always, if you liked what you've seen here, don't forget to subscribe. We have a button down there for you to click and follow us with. We'd love for you to hang out with us and with all the other videos we have to come. There's also a comment section so we can all interact. And as always, we thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time. If you want to stay on top of all the latest and greatest, and or at least the gadgets we cover, remember to subscribe right here. Subscription button. Click it. You're going to want to. There's lots of videos, interviews, previews, all sorts of stuff. Button. Click it.